Hey! I'm feeling better today, but I have a bunch of running around I have to do, including a stop at the library. So I just finished this book on the history of the Wild West, and I actually finished it during the exam that I was proctoring yesterday. So it was a lot of stop and go, like read a paragraph, check the room, read a paragraph, check the room. And this book has like the sassiest ending ever. So it goes through a bunch of the history, and then it talks about historically what is now in these places, so like all of the tourist traps. And there are just points in time that it's just like the sassiest thing ever. Because it points out that there's, for the most part, it's a lot of tragedy. Like, the Wild West has been romanticized, but it was the life and death of a lot of people. At the Little Bighorn battlefield, visitors no longer explore the footpaths on the humpy hills where George Armstrong Custer and his cavalrymen made their last desperate stand. Instead, throngs of them in shorts and t-shirts toil up the path to the monument at the top of the hill, take photos, and leave. Some drive a few miles along the crest of the ridge to where Reno and Benton dug in, but the sheer presence of so many people and so many cars makes it impossible for anyone to appreciate the dynamics of the battle. How they died, why they died. In the museum, they have one of Custer's uniforms, and everyone goes, gosh, he wasn't very tall. And like, it just keeps going. Near Kernery, Missouri, you can visit the farm in which Jesse James was born and see Frank James' duster coat hanging on a peg behind the door. Outside in the yard, you can take a picture of the tombstone his embittered mother erected above Jesse's grave, commemorating the son murdered by a traitor and a coward whose name is not worthy to appear here. It's a replica. The real one was chipped to pieces by tourists half a century ago, and anyway, Jesse is buried in the cemetery in town. In St. Joseph, you can step into the actual house, relocated from its original site, in which Bob Ford assassinated Jesse James. When they show you the hole in the wall made by the bullet that killed him, don't mention the autopsy that showed it remained lodged in his brain. Like, it just... And, I mean, it goes through everything. Like, Dodge City, Tombstone is here, the Billy the Kid country. Like, and it just keeps going. And then the interesting thing is, as sassy as it is about it, the author actually encourages people to still go, but most of all go. Go if only to see the incredible expanse of it, the sometimes unbelievable beauty of the landscape, and the rackety awfulness of some of the towns in which so many hundreds of thousands of these events were set. So many hopes and aspirations and ambitions blossomed. So many untold stories still remain untold. Take enough imagination, and the Old West can still be found out there. Down some canyon, over some mountain, along some river. There never was anywhere quite like it, and there never will be again. So it's just, like, the sassiest thing, and I'm just sitting there reading it in this exam, and then I hit that last sentence, and, well, that's the golden age, isn't it? Like, that's America's golden age. That's America's myth of creation, is the Wild West. And it's true, that's never gonna happen again. And in some ways that's a really good thing. But I can see how there were parts of it that are something that people would want to hold on to. And reading it during this exam was sort of this moment, and shortly after I actually finished it, a couple of people that I've known throughout my time here and worked with throughout my time here, who were writing the exam, finished and got up and left. And it was this sudden sort of realization of, oh shit, this is it, isn't it? And for me right now, it's more real now than it was even when I was finishing up and graduating. Because I know that I'm not going to be here come September. And it's sort of funny because I'm heading west. Maybe not as far west as the Wild West. But I'm gonna go with ambitions and dreams of my own. And maybe a little sassiness. Sassiness is always good to have. I'm scared. But I'm excited. And I'm going to miss people. Mostly. I've had my time in this city. It's going to be the people that I miss. And in truth, a lot of those people aren't even in this city anymore. They're off on their own adventures. Or off on their own adventures here too. I've been told that the thing with traveling, the danger you face with traveling and getting to know people in other areas is you will never be 100% at home, because a part of your heart is going to be in 1,000 different places. And that's true. But the thing is, I think that's okay. Because that doesn't mean I'm never going to be at home. It simply means I'm going to have 1,000 homes. And I think that's amazing. And truth be told, I think we're all going to be okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.